Hi folks, this is Dr. Rob CYWES. In the last video, we discussed the distinction between the perception we have on life and on our situation and the perspective of others. And as such, I think there's a very important perception that a lot of people have and that is promoted by the internet. And I want to give you a different perspective. And this video is called Aging. And one of the things that greatly affects aging is our health risk. And the world out there, the internet world that is loving to tell us stuff and sell us stuff and put us on this supplement and that potion and that powder and tell us what we must do to live longer, doesn't understand the true perspective. That's the perception. Your perception is, how can I live longer? I need to live longer. I want to live longer. And that is a false narrative. The perspective I want to give you is that you are going to live a long time. You are predetermined. If you've survived being a fetus, if you've survived your childhood, unless you get run over by a truck or shot in a mass shooting, you are extremely likely to live a very long time. And there's very little you can do to live longer than that time. But the reason you're not going to live that long is because you do things that subtract from that. And if you can look at your life through the lens of things that we do purposefully and unconsciously that subtract from our aging, when you have that perspective, then you're going to change your perception of what it takes to live longer. So when it comes to aging, everybody's trying to sell us potions and infusions, and basically what they're doing is taking money from us. Your metabolic health is primarily important in terms of the rate at which you age, and that is directly tied into inflammation. Oh, but what about cancer? Well, cancer is an inflammatory disorder for the most part. There's some toxins involved. But ultimately, decreasing your inflammatory risk, dumbing down your inflammatory numbers through diet and through certain way of life protocols, that's the ideal. And self-care that relaxes you juxtaposes against the on button of adrenaline. When you're working like a dog, when you're working all the time, your adrenaline levels are continuously elevated and there's no relief. Give yourself some cortisol relief. Yes, cortisol is your relief hormone. It isn't the hormone that causes adrenaline rush. So a range of adrenaline rush at work and then relaxation through self-care is ideal. Not doing toxic things, not smoking, not doing excessive alcohol, not doing opioids, not doing carbohydrates, radically improves the risk you take of shortening your life. Not texting while you're driving. There's a simple way to live longer. As long as other people around you aren't texting. But it's not about aging less. It's mostly about not dying sooner. And that's a perception I want you to change. You know, folks, I've created a weekly cycle for myself where I have no calorie Mondays. I go from dinner Sunday night to dinner Tuesday night, 48 hours of no calories. And the purpose is to get into ketosis to restore my metabolic health. In order to get there quickly, on the early Monday morning, I will always go for a run, exercise. And the purpose there is to burn sugar off my liver. And as soon as I'm done with my run, I do a shot of Ketone IQ. This is a ketone product that gets rapidly absorbed and transitions me very quickly into ketosis. Once the Ketone IQ is burnt off, I'm going to be using my own fat for the rest of that day. So I get into nutritional ketosis much quicker, much deeper when I do that. And that has advantages and allows me to do a 48-hour fast and not have to do even more extended fasts. Try it. Do the experiment. If it works, use it. If it doesn't work, don't use it. But help yourself. The treatment paradigm for living a long time is to examine and reduce the things that you do that subtract from your life. And that includes unrelenting, unmitigating stress. It's not about living a short life. It's about not shortening your life. Lessen your subtractions. The one proactive thing, apart from the nutritional side, the one other proactive thing you can do is to be physically active, to engage in things that involve endurance, that involve flexibility, that involve balance, and involve strength. And if you preserve your physical health and you do things that are mentally stimulating, that make you laugh and make you smile and make you chill out and make you forget about other people's shit as it comes at you. If you can live your life according to the driver theory, what's the driver theory? The driver theory is that arsehole that cut you off didn't do that to you personally. They didn't do it to you intentionally. They didn't even know you existed. You just happened to be there. They're having a bad day. But if you get angry at them, you make their bad day your bad day that lessens your life and raises your stress level. If instead you say, dude, I'm not going to let your bad day be my bad day, and you back off and you let them go and you don't get involved. And that is not just about driving. That is true for everything. If you stop being such a darn, I don't know if it's a Karen or a Karen. In my world, it's a Karen. Stop worrying yourself about everybody else's shit. Stop worrying yourself about conspiracy theories. Live your life. Make your world small. And yes, don't be totally disengaged. But don't jump in front of every truck that you see out of control, because you're going to get run over. Have a few things that you care about. Preferably mostly family and friends. 2 or 3 of them. Have a few things that you're passionate about. But don't do things that trigger you in that regard. Diminish your stress and have a great outlet for stress. Don't get angry at the bad driver. Back off and don't let them become you. How long you live, in large part, except for unforeseen accidents, in large part, is based on how you minimize subtraction. That is my perspective. That is what I try to do with my patients. But your perception and their perception on the internet is to sell you a whole bunch of products that are going to make you live longer. Don't buy that. Don't buy into it. If I've made you think, leave comments. I am the Carb Addiction Doc. Live every day in a happy space. Find happiness on the darkest of days, those moments. And you will surf over all kinds of brown bowel movements that come at you. Leave comments. If you want to visit with us, 561-517-0642, or subscribe to the channel, or throw me $1 at my PayPal account. It's in the show notes. Take care. Live long.